stats on this, making sure everything looks good and everything seems to be running well in this video. Let's see, hey, I'm showing live on my website, or on Twitch I should say. So I've got a new camera for these. It'll be this one right here. It's a new Logitech 920 webcam I got on sale from um, the recent sales over on Amazon. Missed out on the 922 by a few minutes. This is the one I really wanted, but you know, they'll do the same thing, so I'm not really going to complain too much. So today I've got a Geeetech, I believe is how it's pronounced, Geetech. This is Geeetech E180 3D printer. This is a small cantilever design. This is basically what it looks like. Let's show it here. This is basically what it looks like. It's a small, reminds me kind of a mono price type printer. It's got a build volume of 130 by 130 by 130 millimeters. The bed is not heated, so this is basically a PLA only printer. This was sent to me from Gearbest to evaluate and be able to give you all a review. This is the unboxing. I just received it today from Gearbest, so I wanted to get this up and going. Kit printers take a lot longer to build. These are basically pre-built. It's ready to come work right out of the box. I do have to admit, I peeked. It basically comes in, I don't know if you can see it, this box over here. This box right here is what it came in. It's a real pain in the butt to get apart with one person. I had to get my wife's help to get it out. So I left it out. I was going to put it back in. My best friend's in town for the week, and I was showing it off to him because he was at the house when it came in. Shows in here basically PLA printer, nozzle diameter 0.4, print speed 80 millimeters to 110 millimeters recommended. It also uses EasyPrint 3D, which is a software I've never used before. I installed it on my Android phone here. It looks like this. Oh, it logged me out. I don't need to log back in. Give me a second here. I'm sorry, I hate dead space, dead air. So I'll try to talk and kind of give you an idea. But it's kind of a neat little software. I'm actually kind of impressed by it. Except I can't get logged in all of a sudden. Oh, here we go. So this is basically the front end of it. It's at this point here, it's basically just like a community type program or community. You can go here to the printer. So we'll see what that's all about. And then there's community prints here. So I could literally click this. This is art. And these are different art projects. You can click into it and be able to print it from the app. So I know that in what little I've looked, I haven't looked a lot at this. I know that's possible, which is actually kind of cool. So let's see how this all works. Again, thank you to Gearbest for this. I am Kevin Rank. I run the website makerfun3d.com. I mainly am concerned with 3D printing and heavily for terrain and war games. I also use it for my photography. I'm also a photographer on the side. So 3D printing I use for all sorts of fun stuff. This is, this will be interesting because it's the smallest printer I have. Up to this point, the smallest I had was a 200 by 200. The other three printers I have are all 300 by 300. So this will be interesting to get a nice small bed that I will be restricted on. But I think that will give me some interesting uses for it too. I won't have to heat up a giant 300 millimeter bed when I just want a little thing printed. So here we go. Second here. I'm basically just checking my chat so that I can make sure I can see if anybody happens to come in. So here's the unboxing. In the box it comes with extra tape for the bed. I'm assuming this is a smoother for it. When it comes out, it actually is pretty well packaged. Whoops, I keep doing that, which isn't good. On this side, I had the power cord came off. Really put back in. On this side, I had what looks like a power brick. If I wasn't a little bit of filament, looks like USB cable. Spare nozzle, which these have a unique nozzle. Let me pull this out while I've got this here and get this stuff out of the way here. Actually, going to turn over to this new webcam. So this is what the new nozzle for these looks like. It's a little insert that goes in. It's got controls there. This is another. Basically it's a spare 0.4 millimeter nozzle. It's actually kind of slick, really. Looks a little easier than any of the other 3D printers I have. So I have to give them kudos for trying to create a 3D printer that's a little more user-friendly. Okay, what else do we have in here? We've got a few screws. I'm guessing this is going to be a what's it called? A filament holder. This is just pure speculation on my part, but so it'll go together like so. So we'll have to see. A few tools to help with the build. Let's see. A micro SD card, 1 gigabit. This is kind of fair. And another metal piece. So we'll have to see how this all goes together. I have a feeling they're kind of related. Okay, so that's that. The box is here. I'll do it off the camera. So we'll just open it like so. Pull this off. And this out. And it's unboxed. It's that simple, which is pretty amazing. I think this is probably the most simplistic printer I've ever unboxed. And calling simplistic's not a bad thing in this instance. It's simple. It's easy. You want a 3D printer, you want to pull it out of the box, boom, there you got it. So actually it's kind of cool. So let's take this little camera here so you can kind of get an idea. On the back we have the input for power, we have USB, and we have a TF or an SD card slot. Here's the Bowden tube, and your filament goes in, you're not seeing that. The filament goes in up here, so Bowden tube right there, and then you can kind of see the mechanism here, and you can kind of see it from the front. Now let's spin it around so we can see the front of it. Has a little, I think it's a 3.2-inch display if I recall. Don't quote me on that, this is purely from memory. It's cantilever design, nice, simple. I hope it just works. So let's get it going and see how this all works. You guys see more of me, I bet. There we go. Okay, so let's pull out the instructions. There's actually 2 things in instructions. Let me see here. I think this is information of the quick start guide. This has Wi-Fi built in, it says. That's another thing I'm actually interested in seeing how this all works. So let's go with number 1. We got the power cord. Oh, let's check the power cord. So this is like encased in packing plastic, and so was the case itself. I did get a box that it came in is all brown, but that's because they turned the box inside out, so it wouldn't give it away what was being shipped, which is kind of a good idea, I think. So I still got to see all the packaging. It was just, you know, brown on the outside, and all the packaging itself was on the inside. Let's get the bubble wrap off. This bubble wrap's seen some better days, but I'm guessing it did its job, because this is looking like it's in good shape. A little heavier duty power here, I like that. Got a couple of power cords like this that are much thinner. I actually may use one of my other ones that's sitting here though, mainly because it's a little longer. I have too much stuff down there. I'm a geek, what can I say? Okay, so let's get this plugged in. So trying to look at the back of this from your perspective is much more difficult than you think. There we go. See a little looseness here, but there we go. So we've got power plugged in. Let's hit the power button. Hey, we have power. I'm going to bring this over here so you can kind of see what I'm seeing here on the display. Let's raise this up. Give you a better view there. Okay, so when I turned it on, just hit this button to turn it on. So let's see here. We went through all of that, talked about that. Oh, assemble the filament holder. Let's do that next. So that's what this was for. And looks like this will go on the top, and this goes on the bottom. It looks like an ingenious little setup. I have to admit, there's a lot of little things about this I'm actually kind of digging. I will admit, before this, I did not know much about this printer. I know that it was part of a Kickstarter that has recently been shipping, which is kind of good for them. I really like seeing Kickstarter ship. It seems like there's been a lot of big ones in the news that have failed lately. So I am actually very happy to see one successful and people actually receiving their parts and seeing the community and the industry grow a little bit. I think that's good for everybody involved. So this is just simple. Put these in here. Tighten that down too much. Not done today. Okay, I don't think you want to turn those down too far. And it looks like, yep, that goes that way. Usually I would use my nicer ones like I used in my last video, my nicer hex tools I used in my last video, but you know what? They're over there somewhere. Who knows which ones they are. And it looks like this only uses a couple of them, so might as well keep it simple. So we'll insert the filament. I will try the filament that came with it. Hopefully this stuff will work. Let's see how. By the sounds of it, I thought it was going to be really brittle, but it bent quite nicely. So I'm glad for that. So let's feed this in. Okay, so I've fed it into the port like it says. Oops. And then snap back. Let's try this once more. So we will take this and make a complete and utter mess of the filament. Okay. So it talks about some 3D stuff. I'm going to check these settings here. Let's check Wi-Fi. Okay, so it looks like I need to set up Wi-Fi on the app. So I'm going to go to the app here. Let's see. I will admit I have really no idea what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of guessing. I'm an IT guy, so hopefully that'll give me some luck. So let's go to Wi-Fi. I'm going to set my password offline here. Wi-Fi disconnected. This is taking a little longer than I had hoped. Let's see. Come on. Let's just one more time. Set. Now, I will admit, the instructions actually don't talk about setting up the Wi-Fi, so I may not be able to. Yeah, this does not seem to want to work. Okay. Let's go back. Let's go to control. Let's go to printing. Oh, there's nothing on the card. Let's go to control. Set the target temp. Did I miss something here? It says set the target temp to 210. I'm going to assume it's warming up. I really don't want to push that too much. So there's a test print to try out on this micro SD card. Why does it seem every single one of these cards going upside down? And that's pretty deep in there. Okay, so this, it looks like it just flipped to the next one. So now, when I click the hey, it looks like we have a cat on here. I wonder if it's the famous Decappa cat. So it seems like it's trying to feed it, but it's not pulling it through. There we go. Let's try that. Let's see if this will feed it on through. Yeah, it is working now. So I had to hit this black deal just to release it so I could push the filament through further. That's what's going on. So now it's feeding through. I can see it right here. You know what? I think I'm going to speed it up a bit. Okay, so that's coming back out. This is going back in. Okay, so now we want to go to printing, it shows. So we'll go to, here we go to printing. Oh, you know what, I can pull this off too. Look at that, that's much prettier. I have no idea what that is. Let's see what that is. Let's click print. So you can see it moving. Actually, I just realized I didn't level the bed. I'm curious how this is going to work. I'll be sitting here though. If it doesn't work, I can always go through and re-level it. Oh, this is going to be fun to level, it looks like. So it's basically just like blue painter's tape on the base. And it doesn't look like anything's coming out yet. It actually looks like it may be leveled still. But I have a feeling that the let's kill the job. Trying to have it. There we go. There we've got filament coming out. Okay, so let's go back and let's go to printing and see what 424 code is. So yeah, this is, I don't know if it's dirt in that or whatnot, but it's, and you probably can't see, it's too close, but it's a little burned and stuff there, a little dark. So we'll see. So Caleb here is just saying that he's seen somewhere where the printer has its own SSID, you connect your phone to it, then open the app. And I wouldn't be too surprised, from what I was looking at, I wouldn't be too surprised if that's what it is. So let's see how this looks. I have no idea what this is. It looks like it started to print okay. Looks like it's actually printing across okay right now. So after this is done, I'll probably try to get the SSID on the printer and get that all configured separately. It does look it's a little different there. Here, give me 1 second. My wife just stepped in. Right back. Okay, and I am back. So it looks like it's actually printing okay. You really can't see a lot from there. Okay, this here. Kind of see up under there what I'm doing. There's not a lot you can see right now, but it is printing. It's um, printing the first layer, and actually is looking pretty decent. Um, I am, how long in this video am I? I'm less than half an hour into the video, and I'm actually printing. And this was completely blind. I know very little about this printer, beyond what I've what little I've seen and downloading the app. But heck, let's see, we're looking at right now. It's 26 minutes, so it's in 25 minutes. I had tried to figure out Wi-Fi, which that'll require a little bit extra, I think, to go into. I have plugged it in, got it running. I've got whatever they put on the card printing now, the 424 G code. You can kind of see where it's coming out now. It actually is looking pretty good there. I don't think I've ever had a printer go this fast, ever. So, yeah. So that's basically what's going on. I just really can't see with that. So we'll leave this over here. So yeah, that's how this works. Let's see how this first layer turns out. It's a little bit of a gap. It actually is going down pretty cleanly. I'm kind of impressed by it. The instructions, like I said, are pretty basic. There's really not a lot here to it. It seems to just kind of work right out of the box. Even the original bed leveling seems to thankfully be working, because it looks like you need I need something. Screw that in tighter. I'm not exactly sure how you level the bed. Let's see here. Yeah, so I don't know exactly how to level the bed yet, and the instructions don't seem to have it. Now they do have, it's showing more detailed steps at their website, so I'll probably do that next. And like I said, this is just an unboxing video. Unbox it, show it off, get some initial feelings on it, just so you can kind of see what's going on. And then I will, over the next month or so, I'll be using it to print different things that I would use a 3D printer for personally, not just things to show off its capabilities, but show off how well it works in a real world situation. Stuff that, like I said, stuff that I use. So I think it's going on the second layer now. Yep, it is on to the second layer. And from what I'm seeing here, which is very difficult to see with this in the way, it actually is looking pretty good. But this is what's in the way. From the front, this is all cowled, so it's difficult. So you can't put your fingers in the belt. I can see the belt going back and forth. The hot end is stuck up in there. It's very difficult to reach, so it's safe. It uses a power brick, so this thing again is pretty darn secure. Simple AC input, USB and SD card reader. I think this would actually make a pretty decent beginner's printer, especially for like a kid. That it's safe. It's not like some of the kit printers that have your power supply has all the mains voltage right there for anybody to touch, which is kind of a good thing. So yeah, my initial impression is actually pretty good on this. We'll have to see how it prints. I don't know how well this will end up printing. I'll probably, if it turns out okay, I'll probably put a link to it or a picture of it, or link to it somehow in my guide. I'll write a quick article about it, talk about it a little bit, much like I do with my other printers. And I'll put a picture of this on there. I can actually see that it looks like it's rising possibly a little bit in one corner, but hopefully it'll hold down well enough to get the whole print done. yeah, this looks like a pretty solid little printer. Oh yeah, that whole side's coming up. We'll have to see if it sticks. This is one of the reasons why I personally prefer heated beds, but I do know that you should be able to print without a heated bed with PLA. So we'll just have to see how that goes. Might be something that I have to get a lot more practice on, because it's not something I really do. Usually I print with about 55 to 60 degree heat bed on the glass with some hairspray on it. So that is it, I think. I'm going to call it here. This is, again, it's the Geeetech E180 3D printer here. And it's a little, I had it sent to me from Gearbest. And again, I'm Kevin Rank and from MakerFun3D.com. I hope you enjoy this preview and hopefully it gives you some ideas on this printer. And like I said, I will be having a review coming up. I'll probably post a few pictures as the month goes on through the preview page too. Caleb's saying build tech may go a long way to fixing the adhesion. He's correct there. I think he's pretty much correct there. Painter's tape works. I haven't really used it that much. I didn't use isopropyl alcohol on it. That could be part of the problem. We'll have to see. So far, a lot of the print's still holding down, just part of it's not, so we'll have to see. So thanks for watching. Take care.